Welcome to Regarden Magic Academy, where dreams of becoming a Magiavander are fueled by hard work, magic, and a brutal point system. You want to climb to the top? Better be ready to earn 7,000 of the 12,000 credit points needed to qualify for the Upper Institute.
Let's go!
Sounds doable, right? Well, not if you're Will, our lovable underdog, scraping by with just over 5k points. While he's struggling to catch up, the Academy's heavy hitters are busy showing off. Take Sion, for example, obliterating stone golems with his signature fire magic, Crim Serb, like it's nothing. And Colette, she's out here turning enemies into rubble with her earth magic, Steer Viola. But Will? Oh, poor Will. Without his sword, he's left to punch. Yes, punch the golem.
Come on now, dawg.
The other students watching from the sidelines are flabbergasted. They're basically eating popcorn, commentating on the absurdity of a magic student resorting to fists in a place where spells are your bread and butter. They've written him off as the eternal book nerd, the failure who's not worth taking seriously. But hey, if nothing else, Will's got the guts to keep trying, even as he gets bodied by a golem. Meanwhile, the real showstoppers take the stage. Lihana, one of the top 3 students in the academy, shows how it's done. Her Sagias Leo lightning arrows pierce through golem armor like it's butter, and her teammate Wignall follows up with a whirlwind that finishes the job with almost too much grace. Then there's Julius, the cold, calculating ice master. He silently casts his Icy Roses spell, turning golems to frosty statues. But here's the kicker, Julius freezes every golem, even the ones meant for the other students. Talk about a flex. As they walk past Will, Julius drops a not-so-subtle hint that Will better stay out of his way. Ouch again. It's clear that the gap between Will and the Academy's elites is massive. To rub salt on the wound, someone mentions that it's almost time for the Grand Magic Festival. This makes Will realize that this could be his only chance to prove himself. Later, in the cafeteria, we get one of the episode's standout moments. Colette slams down food on the table and practically forces Will to enter the festival. Her reasoning is solid. At the festival, it's not just about credit scores. It's about raw talent. And guess what? The 5 great magical factions, Thors Fass, Elief Kanan, Incendia Barham, Albus Vina, and Mysterious Noah, are all coming down to scout new talent. Getting picked by one of these factions would basically guarantee Will's rise to the top. Later that evening, Colette's curiosity gets the better of her, and she drags Will along to investigate some shady happenings done by the backbenchers. It's here they bump into Sion, who's not betting, but definitely sulking. Colette can't help but tease him, saying he's scared of losing his spotlight to the Academy's top 3. Sion, of course, denies it, claiming his credit score is right up there. He just slipped on some writing exams. Things cool down, and Will heads to his job at Gina's tavern, where he works among the dwarves, serving drinks and food. The dwarves, particularly Donan, are tough, hard-working folks who have earned Will's respect. But life at the tavern isn't just about serving ale. Enter Julius, who strolls in with his lackeys, instantly making enemies of the entire room. He mocks the dwarves, calling them immigrants and eyesores. Will, fed up with Julius's bullying, finally snaps. He stands up to the magic prodigy and demands he take back his insults. But Julius? He just laughs, kicks over his plate of beans, and gets ready to throw down. What follows is an ice-cold confrontation. Julius freezes everything in sight, but Will dodges the attacks like a seasoned pro. Yet, it's clear Will's at a disadvantage. His foot gets caught in Julius's ice. But instead of finishing Will off, Julius decides it would be more fun to defeat him publicly at the Grand Magic Festival. The Grand Magic Festival has arrived, and you can practically smell the magical energy in the air. The headmaster kicks things off with an inspiring speech about the importance of competition in advancing up the tower. It's all very motivational, but let's be honest, everyone's just here for the chaos. As Lihana takes the lead in the sky race, zipping through obstacles and leaving her competitors in the dust, the scouts are watching closely, eyeing potential recruits like hawks. But the real action begins with the festival's main event, Crown Attack. A team-based competition that's as brutal as it is legendary. The premise? Simple. Teams of 3 must battle their way through various deadly zones, each filled with magical traps and hazards, to reach the crown in the center. Sounds easy, right? Well, not quite. This is where things get seriously intense. Will, despite everyone thinking he's out of his mind for even signing up, teams up with Colette and Sion. And what's the first thing Will does when faced with a wall of golems? He punches right through them. That's right, punches. Thanks to Colette supercharging his magical gauntlets, Will barrels through the golems like a wrecking ball, leaving the audience and his competitors in shock. Even the snarky commentator Mike can't believe his eyes. Professor Werkner, on the other hand, knew all along that Will had it in him. Classic Werkner. Will and his squad soon enter the Badlands, where turrets fire rocks at breakneck speed. Once again, Will proves that being a no talent is just a title. He punches the ground, creating a shield, and destroys the turrets with a flurry of magically enhanced swords. The other students? They're starting to see that maybe, just maybe, Will isn't as powerless as they thought. Even Professor Edward, the most jaded professor in the academy, admits that Will moves like a seasoned dungeon explorer. But the biggest twist comes when Julius reappears, furious at the crowd's cheers for Will. He conjures a flurry of icy arrows, ready to take down his rival. Just as the situation is about to explode, Scion jumps in with his fire magic, casting a Flambertleon, one of the most powerful flame spells in existence. The ground trembles, and the stadium shakes as the spell's shockwave rips through the arena. Will is barely saved by Colette's protective shield, but the damage is done. It becomes clear that Scion's attack wasn't just aimed at Julius, it was meant for Will too. In a shocking turn of events, Scion challenges Will to a one-on-one duel, completely ignoring the competition. Will, of course, is caught off guard, but before he can even process what's happening, Julius steps in and creates an ice barrier between them. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a magically conjured sword. And just when you think things can't get any crazier, Julius launches an attack on Colette, trapping her in ice. Her screams echo through the arena, and Will is left standing on the edge, torn between helping his teammate and defending himself from Scion's fiery onslaught. It's clear that the stakes have never been higher. Stay connected and live Will's journey with one and only endless recaps. Subscribe to find out more.